It's Monday, April 30th, 2007. There are just 553 days left until the 2008 presidential election.
It's noon on the East Coast, 9 a.m. on the West.
I'm Will.
I'm Rob.
This is Political Lunch. Welcome to this Monday edition of Political Lunch. Things started out well here at Political Lunch headquarters this morning, thanks largely to our friends at ABC. Now, for hardcore political junkies, there are a few great resources online, other than this program, of course. One of them is the National Journal's Hotline. It's a daily email briefing on political news, but if you don't have the $5,000 that it costs for a hotline subscription, you may want to check out ABC's The Note. Now, it's been around for a few years, and it's a terrific resource. The last couple of months, however, we've only been getting a mini note. While the note has been undergoing changes, we didn't know what to expect, but today we got this.
You can check this out at abcnews.com and subscribe easily. It's a great way to follow the stories that are making and changing politics every day. The original creator and editor, Mark Halperin, has now left for Time magazine, but his influence remains strong, and I expect we'll see something maybe a little bit similar at times. Rush Limbaugh's been catching some flack, I think well-deserved, for some audio parodies of Al Sharpton coming after Barack Obama. Josh Marshall and his team at Talking Points Memo put the audio up on YouTube, and you can check it out there. Decide for yourself. We'll see if this foreshadows some future race baiting for this race or not. It's kind of a touchy subject, though, and I think right now everyone's a little sensitive.
Now, PoliticalInsider.com picked up on this story from the Chicago Tribune. There's an interesting split between the Bush family. George W. Bush and his team at the White House have put their support behind John McCain in his bid for the Republican nomination. But Jeb Bush, the president's brother and governor of Florida, has been marshaling his troops to support Mitt Romney. Mitt Romney has hinted in the past that Jeb Bush might make a good choice for VP, so this might be a case of one hand washing the other, but we'll stay tuned. Now, while you're looking at this screenshot of PoliticalInsider.com, take a look at that blog ad off to the side there. The Edwards campaign is paying for that one, and it's an interesting approach to the controversy over the Iraq War funding bill that has gone to President Bush, and he says he'll veto it. John Edwards is collecting signatures. He's trying to get 100,000 supporters to sign this petition in support of the bill as Congress has sent it to the president. Now compare that with this email from Barack Obama's campaign. We got this one on Friday, and he's asking his supporters to forward his message to all of their friends. Basically, Obama's take is that with one signature, this president could effectively end the war. So it's interesting to see how the Democratic candidates are weighing in on the issue of the Iraq War and specifically this piece of legislation.
Speaking of talking points and particular campaign issues, Hillary Clinton recently blogged on firedoglake.com to discuss equal pay for women. Now, firedoglake.com has been a greatly popular blog for especially progressive women, but liberals on the whole. It's run by Jane Hampshire, who wrote Natural Born Killers, which Oliver Stone, of course, made into a cult classic using some very cool Super 8 work. She also, of course, became famous as a blogger during some live blogging she did with the Scooter Libby trial. It really propelled her to the front of the blogosphere, and Hillary Clinton, in many ways, made a wise choice. However, it's been slammed by Sean Hannity and several other conservatives.
And Hampshire is not without controversy of her own. So
exactly.
While it was a politically calculated move on the Clinton campaign's part, they're appealing strictly to their base on this issue, it was not without a little bit of risk.
It's true. Conservatives have really come after Hampshire in the past for, well, everything from blackface renditions to Joe Lieberman to simply being very much on the far left, according to conservative papers. Right now, I think it's probably going to win her some points, but in the long run, she's going to have to be careful out there. It's a real minefield when it comes to this stuff, as, of course, John Edwards has learned repeatedly now.
Absolutely. Now, back to the GOP camp. I'm almost tired of this story, but it just keeps getting better and or worse, depending on how you look at it. Senator John McCain has once again put his foot in his mouth It's a recurring theme over the last couple of weeks that we just can't get away from. Now, we brought you the story last week of McCain's response to a question about Iran. The senator responded jokingly, we have to presume or hope. His response was to sing Bomb Iran to the tune of the Beach Boys' Barbara Ann. Now, he did not back away from that. He claimed that critics of that little performance should, quote,
lighten up and get a life.
Now, on Friday, we got word that the McCain campaign was using Barbara Ann to open his official appearances. We didn't believe it until we got confirmation from the horse's mouth, the McCain campaign's official blog. Now, over the weekend, a story developed that Senator McCain had told some war protesters at one of his campaign events to, quote,
lighten up and get a
life. Now, in a sign that perhaps his advisors have decided to soften the message, in his appearance yesterday, the senator took the stage to the country standard, "You've got to stand for something."
A little more tepid, but certainly a welcome change, I think. Now, speaking of events, Jim Clyburn's world-famous fish fry was held last week in South Carolina. Clyburn is the third-ranking member of the Democratic Party right now, the majority whip. He's been holding a fish fry since 1992 for potential presidential contenders to come through, meet the people. He invites about 2,000 people at every event. It's a great opportunity to have an informal conversation, be able to really talk to somebody who's running for president, and it gives them a real opportunity to make an impression on journalists who attend. Lane Hudson at the Huffington Post gives an insider's look and sort of a personal impression of the fish fry. I think it's worth taking a look if you want a better understanding of what all these little events add up to.
Thanks for joining us. Tune in again on Wednesday when we'll offer a preview of the first GOP debate. That's Thursday evening from the Reagan Library in Simi Valley, California.
Kudos to thepolitico.com for getting the online scoop for that.
Indeed. Thanks for watching. Hope you'll have lunch with us again on Wednesday.